So about a month ago, I had to take Arya to the vet because she had a nasal plug. This all actually stems back to when I first got her, unfortunately. So if you know anything about Arya, she was a kind of adoption, kind of rescue. Like, I took her from a rehoming situation and bit off more than I was expecting. Of course, I could handle it financially and she's completely well cared for by the vet, but I was not expecting the problems that I had, and the problems that I had included the death of her cage mate. Yes, she was cohabbed with another gecko. It's a very long story. I'm pretty sure I have already talked about it in other videos on this channel, but it was very terrible. It was a really hard time as a gecko mom. But Aria had a lot of health problems, and she was at the vet May of last year for laying eggs like way too frequently. She was laying eggs every 14 days, and it literally just drained her body of nutrients. It drained her body of calcium, and it shouldn't have, but she wasn't properly supplemented in her previous home, and she was also addicted to waxworms, so she wasn't eating. It was a huge whole problem. Another problem that I had from her former home's improper care was that she had a smaller nostril. I wasn't sure if it was something stuck in her nostril, and I wasn't sure if it was her nostril was smaller. It honestly looked like she just had one nostril smaller than the other, and it never looked like a problem. So I just thought it's fine. And when I had gone to the vet last May, the vet didn't say anything about it, so I figured like, oh, she got a full examination. If she saw something wrong with it, she would have said something. So I went home, took her home, you know, she got better from her egg issue. She's completely healthy. She's no longer addicted to waxworms. She's eating all the great foods. She's at a healthy weight. And so when I moved her into this enclosure, I'm not sure if it's because she was being super active or if it was just because it was finally time, but I noticed that there was something coming out of her nostril. Like, it looked like skin. And I was like, oh, well, that's not good. So I called the vet and I made an appointment, but the vet couldn't see me for a week. And I figured since it wasn't an emergency, it'd probably be fine. In that week, Arya shed again. And that's when I realized there was something definitely wrong. Aside from like the surface of her nose having been rounded or swollen and the little piece of skin that was sticking out, aside from that, she also like was trying so hard to get it off that she like rubbed her nose and like a tiny little like spot of blood was on it. And I was like, dang it, but I had to wait for my appointment. So it was a few more days later, and then when I actually got her to the vet, I told the vet, you know, all about, you know, her history that I had known as much as possible, that her nose had always been smaller on that side, and so there may have always been something wrong with it and I didn't know. The vet looked at Arya and said, she looks a lot better than the last time I saw her. Her weight is a lot better. And I was like, yeah, I know, because she needed some TLC. And I was really happy to hear the vet say that. And then the vet took her back and removed the abscess from her nose. So basically what she had was a buildup of stuck shed on the inside of her nose that never ever came out. And so it was a tiny little thing, but it was significant enough to cause an issue, of course. Any amount of stuck shed is an issue. So they removed it, and Arya was completely good to them. She said that Arya was one of the best geckos that she had ever had, like behavior-wise. I got to take a look at the little abscess, and I was like, oh my god, like, I felt really bad because I had always just thought her nose was smaller because it never changed up until recently when I moved her to the new enclosure. She disposed of the abscess. She gave me antibiotic, even though she didn't think it was necessary. She didn't think it was caused by infection, but she wanted to be sure, and of course so did I. So we got an oral antibiotic called Baytril. We got a really tiny amount of Baytril because she only has to have like 0.05 or something like that, like it's her itty bitty amount. And so we got that, and she had to have that every day, twice a day for 2 weeks. In addition to that, we were also told to get like a little saline solution and drip that down her nose just to help with her next shed. That was fine. And that was that. And it cost about $70, $77 I think, which is really affordable. The exam I think was $60. I just wanted to include the cost to let you know that, you know, it's a cost that comes with having reptiles. You have to take them to the vet. Anyways, so we took her home. We gave her her antibiotic, and my fiance is really great with this stuff. Like, he will, you know, like massage her jaw until it opens naturally. Like, all you have to do is really stroke down the bottom of their jaws and they'll open them. And then I'm waiting to shoot in the antibiotic, and we had done this before when she needed calcium supplements after laying her eggs last year. So poor Arya. I wanted to detail all of this as, one, a learning experience, and as two, complete open and honesty on my end that yes, my gecko had a nasal plug, and that it's a very easy fix. The vet just simply removed it and then gave us some antibiotics and we were good to go. And since then, Arya hasn't had any problems. Her nose was red that first day or so afterward, but it's been completely fine since. There's no more swollenness, there's nothing else in there, and so I'm hopeful that the issue is completely resolved and will not have a problem again in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this informational, insightful, helpful in some way, because when I was looking up like gecko with something in its nose, like an abscess, I didn't call it a nasal plug, but that is what the vet called it. But when I was looking that up on Google, I didn't really come across anything super helpful, so I'm hoping that this helps somebody out there. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. Check the links below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.